Hello and welcome to the weekly episodic sports entertainment show starring me, Jason Miller, and check this out. That was the best Raw in a long time. Don't know how long, but it was very, very good. I'm not going to say great, I'm just going to say very, very good, but compared to what we've gotten over the last couple months, I liked the opening match, even though the formula is sort of weird, having 3 teams of 2, because really, why would you tag in anybody that wasn't your tag team partner? Stardust, Goldust, the Usos, and Cena and Ambrose. But the action was really good. A lot of good spots in that match. I mean, honestly, it's better than the usual 6-man tag formula. So I actually liked it that way. And it's telling a good story amongst everybody. And I think the best part about Raw is that at the end of the show, you finally have a main event, finally, I mean less than 2 weeks to go, for Hell in a Cell. And that's what they needed to do. Now, my question is, if you have Ambrose and Rollins, and you have Orton and Cena, which is the quote-unquote main event? Because they're doing this dual main event thing. I don't see how the crowd could care about Cena and Orton if it's the last match, because it really doesn't mean anything. And those guys have decent chemistry together, and everything you see just screams Orton face turn. And I'm wondering if it's going to happen sooner than later. Maybe it'll happen at Hell in a Cell. I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll do. But I don't see how. I think it's... To me, it's exciting that I think the last match of a pay-per-view is going to be Ambrose and Rollins, who will just have an amazing Hell in a Cell match. That's what I do think. I'm just happy that at least I finally get to see the match that I've wanted to see for the last couple of months. So that alone will be worth the price of that show, which is $9.99, but you know what I mean. As far as the actual pay-per-view, I still think it's so interesting that there's just no talk about Brock Lesnar whatsoever. And let's say you're Seth Rollins, right? Wouldn't you be kind of ticked off that you have a briefcase that does you no good because Lesnar's never around? I just wish some of those things would be discussed. But in general, there was a lot of good things about Raw. I really liked the Sheamus Miz match, and obviously, I mean, you see where this is going. That you're gonna have Sheamus and the Miz for the United States title at Hell in a Cell. I'd be shocked if you don't, because now he's got 2 wins over him here. But props to the crowd for recognizing the excellence of. Right now he's Damien Mizdow, but obviously he's Damien Sandow. That guy he takes something that is so stupid, okay? Like pretending to be that other guy, and he steals the show. He absolutely steals the show. When I watch that match, it's so hard for me not to just stare at everything that he does, because he's so funny while doing it, and he's so passionate while doing it. I mean, that guy deserves so much more than what he gets. And I really hope this leads to really what I would do is I'd turn him face right now. I think the crowd's behind him. The crowd's chanting for him. Let The Miz do something dumb to him, and then have him turn on The Miz. It's so easy right now. That's what I would do, because I think he could really, I don't know, he could be a really good mid-card performer. There's no doubt about it. He's always been good on the ring. He's amazing on the mic. He always has been. I don't understand why they ever changed his character to begin with, because I thought he was great the way he was. But no matter what, I want to see more of him. I'm very, very interested in the Wyatt promos. Now you had another good one, and then I think that kind of raises the question, is there really a Sister Abigail? Because there could be. I don't think they would do anything crazy like bring up a Bailey or something. Honestly, the one thing that they could pull off, and I saw some of this online, and it's interesting. It's an interesting thought to take two different. I'll call them divas, but they're female. You know, they're female sports entertainers. Okay, ODB, who's been out of everything, I could see her being in that role. I think she's actually very good talking. If you've seen anything of her, I mean, again, I assume that you're not all totally, WWE. I'm sure you've seen some TNA or some whatever it was before TNA, because ODB's been around for a long time. I think someone like that would pull it off. And the other one, which has never wrestled in TNA or WWE, but she's an NXT trainer, is Sarah Del Rey. If you don't know who Sarah Del Rey is, go look her up now, because she's very, very good. And she has both the mic and the talent, and she's very big too. She's 5'10", so she kind of would give maybe like a big sister feel to Bray. I'm not 100% sure if it worked, but I want the promos to mean something. If they're not going to have a real Sister Abigail, then why show a pregnant belly to me? Unless it's a metaphor for new wrestlers, which I guess is what it is. But I don't know. I don't want it to be like... Do you remember a couple years ago when Jericho had these creepy promos? And you weren't sure exactly who it was, and it ended up being Jericho? And there's a lot of talk of a girl in that. And of course, that never came to fruition because it was totally a red herring. It didn't mean anything. And I don't want that to happen. I want there to be a reason for the actual promo. I want there to be something behind it other than, okay, this just looks creepy and it's a good trailer, for lack of a better term, So I do want them to get on the scene, though. I mean, as much as I enjoy these promos, I would rather see them come out to the ring and have the fans go nuts, because now they're going to put it into, like, they're going to be a total... Fans are... I mean, they were always toeing that line of face anyway, because the crowd reacted so positively to them. You take them off TV for... Man, it's a month to 6 weeks now, something like that. When they come back, the fans are going to go nuts. So you really got to watch out what you're doing there. I mean, if that's their plan, I mean, it's okay, I guess, but I think he still needs to be in his own little isolated world. But I'm still excited to see where that goes. Like I said, I kind of want there to be a Sister Abigail now, and I'm probably going to kick myself in the butt for saying that afterwards, because they could really destroy that storyline and destroy Bray with it if it's not done well. But I still want there to be some life into the Divas division, because it's just so not exciting. I mean, honestly, I'm at the point where I can't even watch what's happening. I struggle focusing whenever the females are out there right now, and it's a shame, because I think, really, if you actually line them all up, there's more talent than there ever has been in the Diva division. It's just, the creative has just jacked it up so poorly. I think they lost, they even had a lot of momentum with Brie and Nikki, and then it's almost like they forced it down everybody's throat, and they realized people didn't want it, and then they sort of peeled back a lot, because they're like, oh, okay, well, we did it too much, but they killed the story a lot, because now you get, I mean, they had, what was it, a tag team match, or see, I don't even remember, it was whatever match, I know there was more than one, so I guess it was a tag team match, because it's Summer Rae, and I think Brie did a yes thing like one time, and the match lasted like a minute. I don't even remember who won. That's how horrible it is right now. It's in bad shape. So that's why, going back to the whole Wyatt situation, it would be interesting to see another female performer involved to maybe do something along those lines. In other female wrestling news. I read a report that Karma is going to return perhaps after she gets back surgery. That would be very, very exciting. I think the one thing that was taken from us was basically no real match out of her. She just came in and beat everybody up before she got pregnant and left the scene, and then she came back for that Royal Rumble, which was sort of exciting. But that would breathe a lot of life into that, and that would really make it exciting, especially with what you have coming up from NXT. It's a lot of promise stuff going in there, so hopefully in a couple of months that would be fantastic to see something along those lines. It was nice to see Kofi on TV again. I really hope that they have something for him. They had him at one point in that, with with Big E and used to be Creed. Jeez, I can't remember his WWE name now off the top of my head, but I'm talking about. They did the one promo where there was the three of them, and then I heard that they were doing some stuff in house shows, and then never came to fruition. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing there, but it would be nice to do something with Kofi. He's way too talented as far as in-ring performer. I mean, I don't know if you watch any of the countdown shows on WWE, but they did a Royal Rumble one. It was like the top 10 moments of Royal Rumble, and I don't know, number 6 or 7 or something was the stuff that Kofi did in the 3 Royal Rumbles in a row. He's such a freak athlete. He could be used somewhere. I mean, yeah, I get it. He doesn't have the great promo skills, but there's a place for guys like that. There really is, especially in this. And they don't have to just be jobbers. They can do other things. And as I bounce back and forth, not very fluently, remember the time that they had the Divas match and Tyson Kidd came out with Natty? Tyson Kidd was the most interesting part of that match. And then Natty comes out again, and then Tyson Kidd's not there. And I don't understand why. Because they were actually building a story and they could do something with them. And then they just decide not to. And that's disappointing to me. Because I don't know why creative does things like that. If you want to try to have a story, and maybe they thought it didn't work, but I thought it worked. And if they didn't think it would work, they need to give it more of a chance before they say, okay, wash our hands of this. This isn't working. I'm very excited for the Big Show Rusev match, which is, I never thought I'd say that, but I'm not, honestly, Rusev is the one thing that WWE has pushed correctly. I don't know where his end game is, because I think they're just making a monster to feed to Cena, but he does look like the biggest, baddest guy. And he's been handled well. They've done a really good job with him. And I'm interested to see what kind of match he will have, if it's going to be a close match, because like I said, there's no way that Big Show goes over, but it's an interesting time in WWE just because there's a lot of storylines where I'm not exactly sure where they're going. So at least there's a level of unpredictableness there, at least in the mid-card there. So, I mean, I think that's the one thing that they have going for it. I'm not sure if it's the best in the world, because the main event with Lesnar not being there, I still wish they'd at least talk about it. It's all you gotta do is talk about it. And I guess, maybe we're jumping to conclusions because maybe he'll make a token appearance at Hell in a Cell. It's not impossible. Just because we think he's not going to be there doesn't mean he won't. But I think between not having Lesnar and Heyman, at least to talk about Lesnar and be there, it is the one thing that's missing from Raw. But they made a definite positive step forward with that Raw. We need more Raws like that. I've actually really enjoyed Triple H the last couple of weeks too, and the stuff that he says and the way that he says it. I mean, he's becoming a likable heel, which is an okay place to be. I'm okay if he's there. So we'll see. I feel a lot better watching the product now than I did 2 weeks ago when I'm like, oh my god, what am I wasting my life on? You know, I mean, so at least we're going in the right direction. So hopefully next week, which I guess if I look at the calendar, is the Go Home Raw. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So next week is the Go Home Raw. So hopefully, go home before the pay-per-view. You know, it'd be the last Raw before Hell in a Cell. So hopefully it gets even better and there's even more build-up. Well, I hope so. Anyway, so see you next week, and hopefully that the trend continues with really good Raws.